Hi, how are you? Delegate Mike McKay here in our first video chat with some of the influential people within District 1C. And today I am joined with the Mayor of Hancock, a good friend of mine, Mr. Tim Smith. Tim, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Tim, why don't you tell us a little bit about your cycle of how you became mayor in about 30 seconds? Give us a little bit of background.
I got involved in politics about 15 years ago. Started out as a city council member and thought that I would do a couple terms as city council member, end up being more than a couple terms. So then it struck my interest to, actually be in the mayor's seat. Kind of put it on the back burner for a little bit, and people kept asking. I was young, so I thought, well, now's my time. So I thought this is the way to, give back to my community is by be in the seat that I can actually do things that benefit our community. So I took the plunge and put my name in the hat and ran a good campaign, and it came out to be a positive thing on my end, and I haven't regretted it. It's been
Well, I tell you, we've been watching the town of Hancock for many years. As you well know, we represent both Allegheny and Washington County, and right in the middle is the town of Hancock. The town has really embraced me. It's a good family-oriented town, and I want to just appreciate everything that the mayor and the council has done for me to help you in the General Assembly. So tell me some of the things that Hancock's doing under your new leadership and the new leadership of the town council.
Underneath my leadership, we are actually creating some economic development projects that we feel that will stimulate, our downtown area to try to get new businesses here. We are actually getting some new businesses, so that's a positive thing. We're looking at doing a revitalization of our downtown area to make better buildings more presentable for newer businesses that maybe doesn't need that big warehouse space, but just a storefront downtown. But keep that small town kind of charm that people would come in. And we have some help, from a third party consulting group that we have reached out and signed on with. Very, very good. Brought a lot of things to us. Actually made me see things a little bit differently than what I would have, a year ago. How things gets done if you have the right people in place. And with them people behind me as a new mayor, I feel that this administration is going to make a big difference in Hancock, and we've already put the planted the foot there. So we just got to take the next steps.
Well, I tell you, if you look at the Maryland general budget, as you well know, I'm on the appropriations committee, and the governor put in the budget this year about $17 million in for the town of Hancock. Now, about 16 million of that is in wastewater and sewer projects, and those are all things. And to have the town have that type of influence, I think, has just been phenomenal. But there was something else that the lieutenant governor was able to get into your budget. That was a $1 million revitalization of the downtown. Can you tell me a little bit about that and what you think you're going to be able to do?
We had a visit from the lieutenant governor, and when he came out, our main thing was to walk Main Street. He was on a nice bike ride and then looked at our Main Street. Me and him chatted for about 15 minutes, standing on Main Street and pointing out what was our problems. Why our Main Street wasn't where it should be. So I expressed my concerns over what I thought was the problems. He says, "Well, how do we help?" And later on that day, we had lunch together, and I strongly urged him to help us, do something with our downtown. I gave him a letter he took back with him, and when this came out, I was very, very pleased to see that he carried the letter on and put that into the governor's budget for us. And that will be a tremendous help to starting something that we want to do as far as our downtown area. I'm looking to replace the old outdated meters, parking meters, and go to a more of a kiosk that you will go up to and pay and place it on your dash instead of having parking meters, which I think will help dress our town up a little bit because we have some really bad looking meters and we need to get that done. But then also, there's some storefronts on our main street that could use a little bit of help, and some of that funding can be used for that to, help us get that jump start.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to about how many residents do you have in the town of Hancock, please?
Population as of 2020, I think was right around 1,400 and something.
Okay, okay. So really significant to have $1 million be invested in the
Yes.
downtown. I know the lieutenant governor was part of that. The governor was part of that. Is there anybody else that might need to get some accolades
Yes,
there?
there was a lot of people. Bill Valentine, which is part of Greenwell Consulting, which is our third party.
Okay,
He was there. Um, there was just there was an overabundance of people there that at the lunch that day, and Mr. Widmeyer was there, and he kind of was taking the lead as lieutenant governor. Make sure this is noted. So all them guys, even including, I know I've talked to you about it before, Mike, and even you, have guided me to where I need to be to get the right people. So I think it's just a collaboration of everybody together. Greenwell, the governor's office, yourself, and our local politicians here, just all working together, trying to make things happen the right way. But by your all's guidance, it helps us. So
well, I tell you, it's I kind of joke around it that my role is always the eye candy of the group. I may not be the smartest, or I may not be the one who can lift the most weight, but I'd be remiss, now that it is in the capital budget, now that all this funding is in there, it's going to take people on the House side, Delegate Beitzel and myself, to make sure it stays on the appropriation side. And then we've got to rely on Senator
yes,
Edwards, who I know that has been a big supporter of Hancock, and we owe a lot of accolades to him for all of his guard.
absolutely.
So I know that he's going to protect it in the Senate side. But it truly is a collaboration of how you can get the executive branch, the legislative branch, then the actual town to be able to be on the same wavelength, the same synergy to make things happen for the western part of Washington County. I don't know if you know this fact, but 49% of all funding that came to Washington County in the proposed 2023 budget, 49% of that is in western Washington County. So whether it be Clear Spring, Hancock,
Yes,
Williamsport, and all places in between, there's no doubt about it that western Washington County was represented very, very well.
this is something we're
So
very grateful
tell
for.
me, absolutely, absolutely. So at the east end of town, there's a lot of dirt being turned over, and I think there was a truck stop there. But what are the plans for Hancock for some of the new businesses?
Well, yeah, you're right. That started off as Little Sandy's truck stop, part of the BFS Corporation, and it was very, very an old facility that we always dreamed of. What if we had a new facility there? And last year, BFS has said, okay, now it's time. We need to move on and put a travel center in here. So they modeled our travel center off of the one, I think it's exit 21, going towards Myersdale. That when you get off, it's a very, very nice. You got some restaurants, you got the travel center. So they came to us and said that's what we're going to do there, which we was very grateful for, and said this will make a big impact on our community. So the idea right now is a high hop restaurant, and then a Little Caesars pizza, and then a standalone Burger King in another building, and then we would actually have the travel center there, which will bring a whole new light to that end of town, which some people had already seen all the work, and they're like, "What does this mean for coming west from the east end of town?" And we have had some pretty good talks, a lot of buzz, people interested in areas down at that end of town coming this way. So I think that's going to help build the rest of the town with that
Okay,
new
okay.
facility. So I mean, we're working close with that corporation, doing everything we can on our end to make things easy and get it pushed forward as fast as possible. Um, we have some things that we need to get done, but I've been in contact with some state officials that is going to meet with me, and we're going to work that out so we can get them moving. But they're working very fast, and hopefully by the end of March, 1st of April, we'll see some things there.
Well, that's awesome. A lot of that funding that was in the governor's budget is going to go to building the new wastewater treatment plant, as I understand it, renewing your water and sewer systems, and that kind of stuff. So, does the town and council have any kind of tax incentives or grants for businesses? It's kind of like a balloon. The only way you're going to enlarge a balloon is by getting more air into
Yes.
it. So if we wanted to move to Hancock or start a business, what's a way that you guys have sweetened the pot, as they would
What
say?
we've came up with right now is if a new business moves in and they're in the corporate limits, they pay no city tax the very first year. The second year, they are staggered to a 50%. So they only pay 50% of their taxes. And then the third year, they will go back to the 100% of their taxes coming back to us. However, we have been very fortunate to be able to work with them on hookups for water. We have discounted, some water hookups to help them get in, and we actually are working with Greenwell now. I wanted to come up with an actual municipality grant that local businesses could fill out for, whether they're a brand new business coming in or an existing business. So Greenwell jumped on that with me, and we got a nice little grant package coming out that local businesses will be able to apply for and new businesses. And then once they apply for that grant, that gives them the funding, but then also it gives them that first year into the second year to get things going before they really have to pay in taxes or anything like that.
Okay, okay. So we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about tourism for
Yes.
Hancock. I think you got a kind of an announcement. It's about a year ago that it happened, but maybe people didn't hear about. We've got lots of trails in Hancock, don't
Yes.
we?
I have been working with Park Service to
Okay.
enhance our Western Maryland Rail Trail. We have had some route problems. So myself and Mr. Ballantyne had been out meeting with Park Service, trying to figure that out. Also, they have a retaining wall that backs up to our businesses. And it's kind of, we're in a unique situation because there's facade programs out there, and everybody says, "Oh, you can fix up the front of your building." Well, on the south side of Main Street, not only do we have to fix up the front of the building's facade, but we have to fix up the back because they face the rail trail. So we're working on that now to get some facade money put aside there for people to be able to apply for, and then working with Park Service to see what they can do on their end to enhance their side. And then we actually do have a plan for a like a little tourist information stand with a kiosk that people will be able to go in, look at the kiosk, find their bed and breakfast, their restaurant, their laundromat, whatever, just to help the tourist that's coming through on with the cyclists. They can't carry much, but they surely can use our restaurants and our laundromats and stuff. So we have to help them also as well.
Well, that's good. That's good. There's a lot of good things going on for the little town of Hancock, and I'm just really, really excited and happy to help you guys out, along with Senator Edwards. Looks like the Lieutenant Governor and the Governor Larry Hogan from the great state of Maryland helping us out as well. So we appreciate you being with me today, and thank you very much, and look forward to helping you guys attain and meet those dreams that you've set forth for the mayor and council in its chambers.
I appreciate the invitation, Mike. And like I said, we appreciate everything you do on your end for Hancock. I tell people all the time, I said, it's very good to have a senator and a delegate that is very responsive, that, we can call, we can ask questions, and they get us to the right people that we need to get the answers. So thank you for everything that you did on our end, you and Senator Edwards also as well.
Awesome. Well, that's very kind of you to say. Thank you. Thank you. Well, at the Maryland General Assembly, our plan is to do these type of videos on a weekly basis, highlighting different towns and municipalities or different organizations within what we call District 1. That's all of Garrett, Allegheny, and Washington County. We've got a couple different things that are coming up that have happened or will happen. Next month is Black History Month, and on February the 6th, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., we are sponsoring a Harriet Tubman event at the Embassy Theater, downtown Cumberland. So I'm hoping that people will come and see that. It's really, really important that all the heritage of our area is taught, and we're really excited to be part of that. Also, one of the things that, because it's in every single part of the three districts, Garrett, Allegheny, and Washington County, is the tremendous amount of parks that we have, state parks, and whether it be in Hancock or be in Cumberland, or of course in Garrett County, the state parks for many, many years, the backlog of maintenance issues and those type of stuff has kind of been on the back burner of the state General Assembly. But there's a bill that is been proposed. It's a state park infrastructure bill by Delegate Lukey, and it's because of a report that was done during the session looking at the actual infrastructure. And so we're a proud supporter to be able to get funding to Rocky Gap, to Fort Frederick, or even any of the other state parks in Garrett County as well. And so we're looking forward to that. If you are following what's going on in the General Assembly, you'll know that we've put a couple different bills in this year, and we're always looking for people to weigh in if they think that's a good idea, a bad idea. Maybe they're interested in helping do either written or oral testimony in the General Assembly. And so a couple of those bills are a public school construction bill that would give credit, for lack of better words, to neighboring counties that have a MOU to allow kids to attend schools from one end to the other. Very, very important statewide. Another thing is some urban renewable legislation to allow, say, the town of Hancock and the town of Williamsport, to be able to revitalize their town and look at some of the blighted property. When it comes to volunteer firemen, we've got a couple different things that we're working on. The line of duty death. Unfortunately, when we lose somebody who's passed away in the line of duty, whether it be a volunteer fireman, paid fireman, police, corrections, there's some death certificate things that we need to clear up and do a better job. Also, it would not be a session in the Maryland General Assembly if the dental delegate, that is a self-proclaimed title I've given myself, but every year we have put in some form of legislation moving oral health to the top of the list of important issues. The mouth is definitely connected to every part of the body, whether it be mental health, the heart, a variety of items. And so we have partnered with Delegate I almost forgot her name, Bonnie, and the delegate and two senators on the Senate side. We have put in a bill that we're expanding the Medicaid to include oral health, and you'll hear a little bit more about that. But we ended up having Senator Cardin chime in on that bill, and we haven't had a sitting member of Congress testify on a bill in about 20 years in the General Assembly. So it was that important. So stay tuned to that. Well, I'd like to thank you for listening in for these couple of minutes of what's going on within the district. I'm Mike McKay, and if you have any questions or concerns, I would hope that you would give me a call. My cell phone number is 301-697-2622. If you'd like to get a hold of the district office, or our Annapolis office, you can email us at mike.mckay@house.state.md.us. So on behalf of myself and my guest today, Mayor Tim Smith from the great town of Hancock, we thank you. Blessings to all, and we'll see you next time.